Welcome to Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy. Spoilers for the second half of Better Call Saul's final season, which started with a bang. Fans have hoped for years that Walter White and Jesse Pinkman would appear on the show, but with Walt and Jesse not meeting Saul until Breaking Bad's second season, it makes a significant role in this prequel series unlikely, or so we thought.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening!
Before this season premiered, it was confirmed that Walt and Jesse would be making an appearance in the final season.
Yeah, bitch!
Now, in this video, we're going to discuss how Walt and Jesse may come into play in Better Call Saul, considering the series is a prequel to Breaking Bad. Some have speculated that maybe we'd see Walt washing Saul's car at the A1A car wash, or Jesse having a run-in with Nacho Varga. As cool as these would be, we think it's going to be something deeper, something that gives us even more appreciation for the Breaking Bad story. And the only way they can do that is to have the Better Call Saul timeline catch up with the Breaking Bad timeline.
Time travel! Yes, science!
Breaking Bad's first season takes place in 2008, while Better Call Saul is still set in the year 2004, 4 years before Walter White breaks bad. Better Call Saul has already featured many characters from Breaking Bad, such as Mike Ehrmantraut, Gustavo Fring, the Salamancas, Steve Gomez, and Hank Schrader.
Hey Marina, how's the boy?
These characters appearing in Better Call Saul makes perfect sense. A large portion of this show has been dedicated to showing how Gustavo Fring built his empire, along with a closer look into the Salamanca's operations. And my personal favorite, more time with Mike Ehrmantraut.
So, what you packing?
A pimento.
Sorry, what?
Pimento sandwich.
Now, Jesse Pinkman making a cameo appearance has always seemed very feasible to me. We could see Jesse in a scene with Crazy 8, Crazy 8 being the guy that Walt chokes the bike lock.
Are you gonna stick me with that broken piece of plate?
Now, he's actually in Better Call Saul as one of Saul's clients. And we get to see the moment he became the DEA snitch.
All right, you don't pass him around like a venereal disease. He's your personal CI.
Somebody croaked our snitch.
Jesse's former cooking partner, Emilio, is Crazy 8's cousin, so it wouldn't be far-fetched at all to see Jesse pop up with them.
Look, you remember Emilio? Okay, this dude got Emilio off like twice. Okay, both times they had him dead to rights, yo, and then poof.
But it's not just about Jesse returning, it's Walt returning too. And it's not just a brief cameo. According to Walter White himself, Bryan Cranston, there are 3 scenes. There's a scene that Aaron is in without me, and there's a scene where I'm in it without him, and then there's a scene where we're both in. So there's 3 scenes to come. It's pretty cool. But to be honest with you, because we shot everything in a bubble and completely out of sequence, I don't even know what episodes we're in. You're gonna find out. Now this tells me that Walt and Jesse's scenes are going to take place during the events of Breaking Bad, which means that we're going to get to see storylines from Breaking Bad from Saul's perspective. Imagine all the times we've seen Walt and or Jesse in Saul's office arguing, asking him to do something he's uncomfortable with, or even threatening him.
We're done when I say we're done.
Now, imagine instead of the episode continuing with Walt and Jesse's story, we stick with Saul and see how he's handling everything as the walls begin to close in.
Lightning bolt shoot from my fingertips!
Better Call Saul has already shown us a scene from the Breaking Bad timeline. If you remember in Breaking Bad's second to last episode, we see Saul arrive at the Best Quality Vacuum Shop.
It's an actual store.
The owner is setting him and Walt up with new identities.
This is a last resort back pocket kind of thing, but if you really got to protect yourself, you disappear. Poof.
Better Call Saul's flash forward showed us the first time Saul made that infamous phone call for himself.
I need a new dust filter for my Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60. Can you help me with that?
In this scene, you can see Saul's panic, his fear, and you may have even noticed the Band-Aid on his nose. That's because Jesse beat the shit out of him just a few episodes prior.
Why didn't you... Stop! Go red!
Now, this wasn't the first flash forward the series has ever done. In fact, every season of Better Call Saul has opened with scenes that take place after the events of Breaking Bad. Seasons 1 through 5 featured scenes with Gene Takavik, Saul's new identity.
When you'd be gone.
These scenes feature Saul living his life in Omaha, Nebraska as a Cinnabon store manager. The last time we saw Gene, he was recognized.
It is you. I thought it was you. I wasn't all the way sure, but now that I'm seeing you up close,
Sure. It's you. Say it.
Better Call Saul.
There we go.
This leads to Saul, yet again, reaching out to the best quality vacuum for a new identity.
Yeah, I need an adapter for a Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60.
Like I said, this is the last time we saw Gene, but it won't be the last.
I've changed my mind.
I had hoped that the Season 6 premiere would show us the next brief chapter in the Gene story, but instead we were shown a montage of Sauls Mansion being packed up by movers. All of his belongings are likely being seized by the government along with his house. Last night's episode, Fun and Games, featured a time skip that shows Saul now living in this mansion,
Doesn't matter what the x-rays show. Tissue damage gets my client paid.
implying that he has officially gotten in deep with the high-dollar criminal clients.
It's the Chicken Man!
That's right, Gustavo Fring. Breaking Bad's biggest bad, and a character we've got to know even more about in Better Call Saul.
It's not in my interest for Hector Salamanca to die at this time.
Over the years, we've seen characters like Jimmy's brother Chuck, Howard Hamlin, Lalo Salamanca, and Nacho Varga all meet their inevitable deaths. These characters were all introduced in Better Call Saul but don't appear in Breaking Bad, so their deaths have just been long suspected.
We're all gonna die!
The only character from this bunch that's still kicking is Kim Wexler, Saul's wife and partner in crime.
Okay, you would not be okay with it. Wouldn't I?
Now, I had previously thought that perhaps we'd see Kim be killed off, or put in a situation where she needed to disappear via vacuum. But last night's episode showed us how Kim exits the show, and it was heartbreaking.
No, Kim, you make me happy. We make each other happy. How can that be bad?
After Kim and Jimmy break up, that's when we see Saul in his new mansion, waking up next to a prostitute, doing his signature comb-over, and talking on his earpiece.
You tell him if the ad doesn't make my ears bleed the next time it plays, I will see him in court.
It's clear that the persona of Saul Goodman has overtaken that of Jimmy McGill. The heartbreak and consequences of his own actions have transformed Jimmy McGill almost entirely into sleazy lawyer Saul Goodman.
Honey tits. I say it's endearing.
While the time skip does not specify how many years have passed, it's clear we are getting closer and closer to Breaking Bad. For example, Saul's office now looks identical to how it appeared in that show. I think we'll soon begin to see key points of the Breaking Bad story pan out from Saul's perspective. Glimpses of Jimmy McGill contemplating his life choices, along with choices he's made in Better Call Saul that ultimately lead him to this point in his life. I think it's likely that the finale of Better Call Saul takes place almost entirely after the events of Breaking Bad, and it will give us the conclusion to the Gene Havoc story. Some have speculated that Saul and Jesse will reunite in this post-Breaking Bad world, but I highly doubt that. They didn't really end on the best of terms. Some have even gone so far as to theorize that Walt may be alive and all three will reunite. That would be awful, and I know Vince Gilligan, creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, would never allow this. Breaking Bad's ending was perfect, and saying that Walt survived would just cheapen the whole thing. So, when do you think Walt and Jesse will pop up in Better Call Saul's final season? Are there any specific moments from Breaking Bad that you would like to see from Saul's perspective? You can let me know in the comments below, or you can add us on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe and smash that bell. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.